Hey guys, Oversized Till over here, and welcome back to the Oppaifu interview. This is episode 8, and I'm very excited to actually bring in a person I've actually just recently met here, but I'm very excited to introduce this person. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Sailor Io. At least that's what I go by online.
So, the first question is, what inspired you to become a hentai, or basically a fanfictional writer?
That would be the Star Wars novels that I read when I was a kid. That and a video game. There was one video game in the late 90s that the story just drew me in, and I just developed this love of well-written stories. If you're wondering what the game was, it was Xenogears. Yeah, the original Xeno series story, the one that Square Enix won't let go of.
Who really inspired you to become a hentai writer?
The first hentai that I really think I saw would have been La Blue Girl. That would be, it is a classic tentacle series type genre, and that's when was my first real introduction to adult themed anime and such. Doing anime type fan fiction, I would think would come from various animes of the 90s like Sailor Moon, Cowboy Bebop, a couple others.
What was your first fetish love?
That would be the breast expansion fetish,
Nice.
where a woman's breasts go from small to average to ridiculously large.
When was the first time you saw ridiculously huge breasts, like bigger than the head size?
My knee-jerk reaction would be to say Angel Blade, because Angel Blade introduced Mistress, I think her name is Phantom Lady, and she had breasts that were bigger than her head. But there might have been another anime that had something like that before then, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it was called.
There is an ecchi called Jungle de Iku.
Thank you, that was it. That's the one.
How often do you actually do hentai writing?
All the time, actually. COVID sadly cost me my job back in 2020. Since then, I've focused primarily on my writing, and now I try to turn out a story at least once a week.
What would be your first ecchi you've ever seen?
Quasi-ecchi, it would have been Love Hina. That was also my introduction to the harem genre, manga and anime.
What is some of your favorite work you have done so far?
Some of my favorite work would include some of my Sailor Moon stuff, which I'm in the process of trying to track back down for some of my fans, because it used to be on Gray Archives, but I don't think that's a thing anymore. I also did some stuff with My Hero Academia, Fairy Tail, a little bit of One Punch Man, but there's not really a busty character in that. Food Wars, that was another one I've been doing some hentai work with.
So is there any specific artist that you're really a big fan of and thought the idea, like, hey, I want to make this character into my story?
That would be Artenzo. I work with him quite a bit. I've worked with him close to 10 years now. Yes, he started out doing like Bleach themed ecchi artwork, okay? Most of his characters were either from Bleach or done in the Bleach style.
I know you're talking about now. Yes, I know that artist.
I have been working with him for the better part of 10 years, if not 10 years. I'd actually have to go back and look over some of my old work and see the modified date.
Yeah, I've been a fan of his for a very long time. He's been doing art forever.
He was looking for somebody to do stories to go with his artwork at the time, and I just threw something out there. I think it was a story for a Naruto story, and I just threw that out there, and I've been working with him since then.
He also has a Patreon as well, right?
Yes, he has a Patreon and a Subscribe Star.
So what's next for your content, by the way?
Currently, I am not writing as much as I used to for Artenzo, but I am still writing for him. Due to personal life issues, I cannot write as often for him as I want to. I'd rather not go into what those issues are, but I am still writing for him. In the spare time I have been granted because of this, I have started work on a new series I like to call Taimanin DD.
Oh.
It is a combination of the Taimanin series and High School DD.
Oh, wow. I love Timon and High School DD as well. So that's going to be real interesting to actually read that.
The loose plot is it's set in the Taimanin universe. Issei and all of his characters are all still around. I believe the year is 2080, so they're from 2012.
Okay.
Issei is now a underworld businessman, and he is a very respected person in the underworld now. In the early chapters, Asagi escapes from Obero's clutches, and the people she escaped with, one of them knew about Issei and took her to them. And Issei granted Asagi and the people with her protection. The story has been developing from there. All of Timon and Asagi is being accounted for in the story, both 1, 2, and 3. The story itself takes place pretty much right where 3 left off, where the anime of Timon and Asagi 3 left off, where she's pregnant. Sakura and Murasaki have been brainwashed, and she's basically mind broken. Asagi gives birth to an original character I'd named Kiyone. Okay, I know in the actual time in Asagi 3, if you follow the bad end or whatever, she gives birth to this like orc boy, but I decided I'm not going to go that way.
So I'm actually curious what other combination stories you've done.
That would be one of my most famous ones. Would be Angel Moon. It is a combination of Sailor Moon and Angel Blade. Now, it's not a crossover. It is a thematic mixing. Mixing being that the sailors, their next upgrade is basically the Angel System. Anybody who's seen Angel Blade knows what the Angel System is. That's what Moena uses to transform into Angel Blade. New ally arrives, gives them the collars they need to fight the new threat. Usagi uses it, transforms into Angel Moon, quickly defeats the new big bad monster of the day, and they all go and talk to him, and there's this hilarious part where Haruka keeps asking him to explain the boobs. And there's one, she kept asking him, explain the boobs, until she finally slams her fist down on the table and says, explain the freaking boobs, because she wants to know why do their breasts have to get so big. Now, I got a few chapters into that before I was forced to abandon it due to reasons. There has been interest in me picking it back up, though, and I will see about what I can do with that.
And I wonder, how long does it take you to actually make all of this? Like, for one example.
Okay, a simple short story, depending on the level of inspiration I'm feeling at the time, I can get done within a day or a week. It also, the amount of free time I have factors in as well. Now, a longer story, even if I'm highly inspired, can take anywhere from 3 days to over a week, because the more detail I add, the longer it takes, because I have to go back over things. I got to make sure I didn't repeat myself too much per paragraph. Doubly make sure that I don't have two different characters speaking within the same paragraph.
So what would be the longest story you've ever done? Was there one that took you many months to work on?
I wouldn't say there's one that I've worked on for many months. For a single story, I mean. And now a continuing story I've worked on for many months. My Hero Academia series that I do for Artenzo, 40 or 50 chapters long now. Now, each chapter is based off of one picture he provides me with, okay? And it usually takes like a week to do each chapter, but if you combine them all, since they're all linked together into one narrative, I would say I've been working on that for several years now.
So has there been any, book series you do? Do you make a book for anything?
I have done light novel, I suppose you could call it, where I took chapters of My Hero Academia story I was doing. I put them all together into one volume, one large PDF file. Each volume of the PDF files was 100-something pages.
Your work cut out for you, for sure. I mean, you've been doing this a long, long time.
I have been doing this since the late 90s, believe it or not.
Yeah, so this person here in this interview is the oldest person I've actually interviewed in any of the episodes I've done. So now the final question is, where can people find you?
You can find me on Hentai Foundry. I have a page there where many of my stories are. You'll have to turn on all the filters so that you see everything. I have a Patreon Sailor IO fanfiction for Patreon. And for Subscribestar, it's called Sailor IO's World.
Oh yeah, I did forget. Here's the bonus question, because I didn't want to forget about this. What is the reason of your name?
Sailor Io was a character I made up, just for fun. He supposedly is the only male Sailor Senshi. I named him after, I think it's the 4th moon of Jupiter, but I could be wrong. I have to look that up. Io is the name of the Jupiter moon with all the volcanoes on it, and the character has volcanic powers. Many people often think it's Sailor Low, but that's because of the font. It's hard to tell an uppercase I from a lowercase L. Yeah, it's very difficult to tell the two apart sometimes.
So how long have you had that name?
Since the very, very early 2000s. When I first began writing fan fiction, I went by the name of Lord Falcon. But when I did that kind of fan fiction, I kept it very, very vague. Some of the commissions I got wanted more non-con stuff, some more of the rough treatment or whatever. And I figured, you know what? This doesn't really go with the aesthetic of this persona online that I use. So I created Sailor Io to do more of the fetishy stuff. And eventually I stopped using the Lord Falcon thing altogether because the more fetishy stuff was more popular.
Well, yeah, I do appreciate this interview, man. Your history, which is really fascinating. The fact that you combine stories from different series is really, really great. So, guys, please check out Sailor IO and check out his Patreon. Check out everything that he actually said on here. And please give it a look. I think you guys are going to really enjoy the fanfic stories. Most of my fans really love fanfictional stories, so I think they're really going to like your stuff too.
Timon and DD stuff I mentioned can be found, the first few chapters can be found for free on Hentai Found.
I want to thank Sailor, and hopefully you guys really enjoy his
welcome.
content. So, alright guys, so as we all should know, Oppai is plot.